Hello, everyone. Today is 23rd of July. My name is Tahir. I'm conducting analysis on major USD pairs. I'm going to touch some commodities and some crosses too. We're going to start off with dollar Canadian. I was just having a look at it earlier. On a smaller time frame, on a 4 hours, seemed like it's found a temporary bottom and it's trying to provoke a bounce from here. So yeah, 3470 has a, sorry 133.70 as of right now carries potential for supporting base out and carries a target of 3405, 3410. Uh, this is at 30 minutes on the dollar Canadian, and the recent break that was about 34.10. So that would be a good retest back on there. And if we halt, then we can drag in lower. Overall, dollar Canadian tracks heavily towards the oil. Oil has been on the boost. We're going to cover oil too later on. But there is much more pressure on the pair to go more lower. So ideally, double bottoms towards 133 is preferred. But let me carry on. So here, basically, 3405, 3410. It's a retest, and if we end up breaking on the higher side, we probably have potential to go carry on another 25 30 pips. So 33.30, 33.40, sorry, 34.30, 34.30 would be a target beyond 34.10. That is if we attain a break and a close above 34.10. But going back on the 4 hours, so this is just a symmetrical trend line. Here's a break, test up, test up, test up. But it's been provoking bounces. But apparently, every time it comes back to it, it's been dragging on the lower side. So it's just a retest. So buyback prefer based on the pattern, based on the history, which is pretty much like this. So here you have a break, carry on. Here you have a retest, follow back, then retest, follow back, then retest, follow back. So it's just that it's taking a longer time, but it's coming in, getting a retest again. But apparently the price is pressure, which is obvious because every bounce back was not able to take out the previous high. So we do not expect anything of the ordinary here also. And at the same time, currently there is another break structure on 4 hours that's again back to 34.05, so we test back 34.05, starts holding. There's another leg coming on the downside, and the reason is quite simple. If you go on a high time frame on an 8 hours, things becomes much more simpler. So what we had here is a bear flag view and the price broken under, and the target is basically close to about 3300. So, and that's where the previous low also resides. So as of right now, the idea of a double bottom looks attractive, which is probably another move like this, and then maybe a little bit extension, and then get gearing back on the higher side. Then it needs to recap, uh, get a break and close above the base of the flag, the beer flag, and then push the price back higher. Alternatively, under 32, I would say 3280, it's gonna fall back even deeper. And to make my assessment, I'm going to carry on the daily. So this is a daily chart. This is where the main break has occurred. Price went in all the way towards, well, close to 4700, so it's a huge retrace back. Normally when this happens, they go and they come back and they meet the point of break zone, which is our here, which is probably about the low's been 33.15, and then normally they extend it. So double base scenario is coming somewhere around back to 33.15, but I would expect actually a full retest of this trend line, this actual break trend line, and that means we can get an extension as low as 32.40. So it's beyond 32.80 that we're expecting on the 4 hours. So yeah, 32.40, 33.15. It's if makes it attractive for the dollar Canadian to go and uh, get it tested. So plus, even on the daily, we have a look at a current price action, and we see curving tops. So it should go and strike 32.40, 32.50. So yeah, it should extend below these points, this and go and test here. So 33.40 would become, sorry, 32.40 would become attractive to go and get a test on. Then it becomes a case of pretty easier. Either we get a close back above 33.15 and then starts going on the higher side. Alternatively, we get a hold around 33.15, 20, and then drags in for new low and break and close under. Then we are going in deeper. Then I would assume we have more room to go on the lower side, and ideally it needs to then extend below these last swing lows 29.50. So yeah, so coming down to an interesting point, an eye on the oil, how the oil is gonna play around. It's already sitting at the session's high around 42, well, between 42 and 43. Expected run on the oil for today is anyways another double bottom scenario on the current price action towards 42. 75, 42.80. We're gonna come on to it. So the second pair I want to try out is the pound, and this is a layout from a very current price action that has got nothing to do with the longer view. It's just that something that is valid for next 24 to 72 hours. So pound has been finding bids past 2 weeks. Probably one of the pairs apart from the dollar Canadian that made way, showing that there's a dollar weakness coming around, which we saw in abundance last week and pretty much the whole this week. This week being stronger, especially if you look at keep an eye on the gold and silver, makes it much more apparent. So this is what the pound did. Basically, started making those 26.60 session highs. So the initial was 26.67, then almost a retest, 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 and finally did a structure on a trend line symmetry, and then broke and then retest, and then the rest was easy. Follow up for 27.70 as initial peak point. A rare occurrence that it came down and did the whole retest, getting a bounce back again. So yeah, uh, not it has not to be a rocket science, but price action and history repeating itself makes it much more easier to comprehend that ideally we need to go and get a retest. So either it's a double top scenario, the new top slightly higher than the previous one, but as long as we hold under here, we can come back and retest this zone. But keep in mind, the longer it stays above this zone, eventually the retest and the base of the current channel will intersect. So overall scenario, let's say it prolongs another 3-4 days, we're looking at a space of maybe by that time 26 on the lower side and maybe 28.40, 28.50 on the higher side. So this is one of those early warning sign that if the price stays confined to within this level, we are looking at period of congestion. So that would make it attractive for both sides to get played out. But as long as you can pick those points up from extreme levels, by extreme levels I mean nothing more than getting a retest close to the trend lines, and then you picking up shots. And on the break, that's mean your stops are not too wide. And then you should be able to reverse the mode depending on the nature of the volume that's kicking in, and that's with the pound is very easily recognizable. And buying back around this zone, as of right now, the break is authentic. It becomes much more authentic when after making this session high, it brings up a new high. I mean, that's the ideal retest place of the breakouts are. You had a break, you had a session high, you had a retest. Now, ideally, it needs to take out this low. That way, it will give it it becomes much more authentic that this break is in play, and then we are actually inching on the higher side. Then again, of course, it's a good trend line, so it can trap in for a while, but then it's going to be like whipsaw, much more in this fashion till it breaks out here or till it breaks out on the lower side. But we can take a step further. We can jump on the 8 hours. So this is just a view where this view, the one that's been on the dotted lines, it's similar to the one that's we saw on the 4 hours. But the thing here is that I've got a whole channel on the broad channel, which is the top comes in around 29. Well, 29, 0, 10. Well, 29. Well, I would say 29 to lower 29, and the bottom actually resides in close to about 2200. So on a hindsight, a break under 2600 would dent recent upflow on the pound substantially, and it can actually start a new legs down towards 2200. So overall, we are close to the top of the range, which is about 2912 or 2920. As long as the as we proceed as we proceed further, this will be inclining. So my guess would be around 2915 to 2930. That would be a potential top. That is, we break higher to the current channel based on the 4 hours, and the same thing within the dotted line. So yeah, this is where the region is where it prompts that we probably are in a state of the price will congest between here and here. So the only play would be to use extreme points to take a trade and go vice versa from the support till get a break on either side. Those who are longs, the best play is that they stay in long and try to weather the storm. Those who are short should try to go and get out of their shorts on any decent retraces, because overall the pattern is still bullish. So yeah, this is a preferred mode that 2910 2920 should get a play down, and then we'll see after that. So this is where the pound stays. uh, Euro USD. So I'm just looking at from current price action on the 8 hours. I have a symmetry of a trend line that comes in, which is roughly about close to the highs that it's already printed. So 1607, 16010, inclining towards, well, 1620 and all that, 16, 15, 20. It's expected resistance for today and 1620 by tomorrow. And the base, based on the current breakout, around 1520ish. So yeah, euro is looking much more getting trapped out within 100 pips range. Again, like the pound is an early indication that US dollar might try to surge up a little bit. So we might have a period of congestion out here, consolidation. And in rare cases that we end up breaking about 1620 or let's say 1630, I expect price to go and test back about 1730 to up to 1750. So yeah, overall dollar looks beaten up on a decline. It needs to do something extraordinary to crawl back up. So let's see. But as of right now, this is what I'm seeing: Euro 1620 and 1520 on a range. This is Euro weekly, and then again we are towards the high peak of the price action. 1620, 1620, 1630 has a right now looks excellent on resistance on any test. It's not going to be easy to go and make it pass above it on a daily, on 8 hours. First targets in case of a break higher comes to about 1720, 1730. Sorry, 1730, 1740. But overall, on the weekly, we should be able to go and make a way towards early 1900. Beyond that, 22 and 23 gets exposed, but that's for a later stage.